I think that's just about everyone, probably. You have no way to know. Welcome to War with the Mates with me, James.
Me, Andy.
Does anyone know what's going on here? Yeah? Oh, that's a surprising amount. Oh, you read the synopsis?
Yeah, it's about cats in this game.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that might be next door. Yeah. Well, it's adjacent.
Okay.
Yeah, it ties in thematically. Who has heard of a board game, The Campaign for North Africa? That's a really good start. That's brilliant. Who likes board games in general? Oh, you're in the right place. You're gonna love this. Who's ready for a live show full of props and prizes? Great times. Yeah, the dark room's sold out. You can't get tickets to that anymore. Hello. Welcome. We started early. This is on us. So, we have the campaign for North Africa, we have the game, and we've been playing it for about 18 months.
Yeah, it feels longer, but about 18 months.
We are, first of all, doing a practice run of 6 turns. We are 5 turns in.
Yep, that's 5 turns, 18 months, so we
Yeah.
will finish one day.
Theoretically, we could die, you know. The practice run will end on turn 6, and then we'll be starting the full game, which is 111 turns. It's really not looking good. The game, as far as we're aware, and the internet is concerned, hasn't been finished before. It came out in 1978, and no one has recorded finishing it, so we thought, why not buy it for just shy of £1,000
Yeah,
on eBay?
explaining this in front of a group of people is...
Shameful. Yeah, it feels like a confession.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd record a podcast alongside it to document trying to finish the game, and as an accountability tool, so we couldn't just stop playing, as if the price tag of £1,000 wasn't enough. So we've been doing that for 18 months. We've got up to turn 6, but we had a few hurdles along the way getting to that point, to say the least.
First off, the game's massive. It's 10 foot by 3.5 feet, so what room are you putting that in? It's just about jammed in my living room.
Yeah, we do have a picture of it. I put in some fun transitions. Oh, there it is when we first got it. There she is. That was November 2024?
Yep.
Yeah.
Look at it. It's not being sat on or all the bits punched. Or...
Yeah, that thing's worthless now. So we set out the board. It's pretty hefty. More fun transitions. You'll see a lot of these.
Okay.
There it is, a beer can for context. Yeah, that is 10 feet. The map is split into 5 individual maps, and yeah, 10 feet across. We had to clear out all of your furniture.
Yeah.
To put it down.
It's all just, it's badly laid out now. It's
Yeah, you've really Jenga'd your living room, and we thought that would be fine. We've got the space to play it now, so that should be simple enough. So we decided to start reading the rules. These are the rules. We brought them along, the physical rule book. Should we pass them around, see if people want to have a little gander through?
Yeah, if people want to.
Yeah, we'll.
Have you been showed them?
Oh, I just throw them if you want.
Don't though. That's the addendum that's separate, so that's 9 pages of rule corrections as well.
So those are the several rule books. One of them is just a book with historical context for the game. Just a bit of light reading on top. There's a booklet for land rules, so all of your ground units, your trucks and whatnot, combat. You've got one for air and logistics. You've got a booklet for the Axis forces, which I'm playing, unfortunately.
Boo.
Good, yeah, that's a boo. That's worth a boo. They're bad guys.
And I have one for the Commonwealth as well, and then there's a separate shared one that we both use for tables.
Yes, the common tables. So you'll find that in there as well. There's about 14 or 15 pages of just tables that you determine the outcome of various things with.
Yep, weather.
You have to roll for the weather in the desert.
If your car breaks down.
Yeah, you've got to roll for
everything you do, basically.
everything. So we thought we'd read the rules and that would be enough. We read the rules, it was horrible. We thought we could probably still do this. You thought that mostly. I became pretty distressed at the idea.
Yeah, initially I was in denial because I thought this would be another drunken plan we had that we didn't follow through with. And then that got to about 2 months in, and then my denial was, this isn't as bad as it looks.
Yeah, you forgot I had a credit card. So we read the rules, we didn't like what we saw, but we gave it a go. We decided to try some practice runs of parts of the rules, the combat, some of the truck movement, and thought, well, now we'll set out the game map and we'll try that. And then we realized, because we're doing this on an evening after work, we go to our 9 to 5, and then we decide to play this, record an episode, a waste of time. And we realized how long it takes to set up the board, because there are
sort of 2 hours.
Yeah. There's 1,600 pieces.
You don't have to use them all at once. You just have to look for them.
Yeah, you have to sift through the plastic trays to find them. So we decided that wasn't viable. We can't set out only about 800 or so every week. So you've got to set out these tiles, put down 800 pieces. So we came up with a pretty good idea.
We did magnets.
Magnets. Everyone heard of those? Great idea. So we got magnets, and we put each of the maps into a picture frame, and then we put a sheet of metal behind the maps and put magnets on every single game piece with blue tack, which means that the board game is now worthless. We've destroyed its value.
But it is playable.
It's
this
playable.
game can either be valuable or playable, I think.
It's Schrodinger's game. So we stuck all the pieces on, and now they just clip on. So we can leave them in the same place, we can fold them away in the corner of your living room, and we don't have to worry about setting it up for 2 hours every week.
Yes.
It's genius.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Apart from the fact that the pieces keep on sliding off.
No one's perfect.
But in order to offset that, we have some pretty in-depth bookkeeping.
We do, yes.
We keep track of all of the units, and the game is pretty granular in the things you have to keep track of, which is part of why it hasn't been finished, and the fact it's really long. So you've got to keep track of quite a few values, which will, more of the units. There they are, look at them, all magnetized. That is the map set out with all of the tiles. We have to prop it up on some of your furniture. That's the full length of it. It's long, and the magnets are they're holding up for the most part.
Yeah, they are. We will need to replace them when we start the actual game, probably.
Yeah, I don't know what that looks like because they're all stuck on with blue tack. This should be a video. It is a video. Fantastic. So these are some of the spreadsheets. This will give you an idea of the stuff we keep track of in the game. So this is.
Shall we pause this and talk people through this?
Okay, yeah. So this is one of my units.
So this is one division in the current
One
term
division,
where
the MCU program.
Before they've all arrived, you've got 9 of these things at the minute?
Yes, I've got 9 divisions. So each of these individual rows could, in theory, be a game piece, an individual piece of cardboard. But thankfully, if they're in a division, they're all encapsulated within one piece. So that's an anime, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey. And within those, you need to keep track of all of these values. Some of them are static, so that's good. The size, the type, that sort of stays the same. Their capability point allowance is what allows them to do stuff. When it's, a lower value, it tends to be infantry. something else like a tank tends to have a bit more, they can move more, tanks historically. And some of the things that move are the location, which we've got track of up at the top there. They've stayed in the same place, it's easier for me that way. And then we've got other stuff that you need to measure, like water, fuel, ammo, and stores.
Yes, because every division will have its own convoy of trucks attached to it. When you move, you calculate all the fuel for the units and the trucks, and then you work out breakdown for everything involved. So I guess as this goes on, you'll see things fall apart with this one, or?
Well, yeah, the 63rd Serene had a bit of a rough time. This down here is, I guess, a bit of a time lapse as to what they went through, because those 6 turns that we've done are made up of 3 operation stages each. So it's really more like 18 turns. So that's
Let's tell us all that, shall we?
Yeah. So within an operation stage, you need to essentially play the game. You move your units, you replenish their water, you have some fights, you manage your aircraft, which we'll get to, that bit's horrible. And these tabs represent each of those op stages. So I believe I'll guide you through this. Is it playing? No? There we go. So, there's a bit more to the spreadsheet. There we go. There's the ammo. So, close assault rating, close defense rating, all the bits and pieces that you need to keep track of. And then this is where they're currently at. They've had some bad times. You've really not taken a liking to these guys.
No, I've hammered them.
But they've still got plenty of water, that's good. You need to keep that replenished, because otherwise people will start to die of thirst.
Although surprisingly for something set in the desert, water by far the easiest thing to manage.
Definitely. I wouldn't have thought that going in, but and that's not even sarcasm, that's genuinely the case. And when it comes to use of water and fuel, thank you. When it comes to use of water and fuel, it's not just using the water and fuel that's the issue, it also evaporates. So every turn you need to get rid of a certain percentage of all of the water and fuel in the game because it evaporates.
I think you get rid of 6, and then I get rid of 9 because I don't have jerry cans yet.
That's right. Thank you.
So I think on maybe turn 30 something, but nowhere near, the Commonwealth figure out jerry cans, so we get the same evaporation then.
Which will be great.
Yeah. And on the other side of that, sorry, you have an extra use for water as well.
I do. So there is a fairly renowned rule in the game. If you've heard of the game before, you might have heard of the rule, which is the Italian pasta point. So the guy who designed this game, Richard Berg, decided that he hadn't been granular enough with what he'd done. So he decided that all of the Italian forces, which I'm managing unfortunately, when they're using food, they should also use more water points because they're using it to boil pasta. Which, I don't think that's historically true.
No, we looked it up a bit. It's not. It's something he's added to make this game even more hostile to its players.
It's so unnecessary. So that's another use of water. So it doesn't just evaporate, it doesn't just get consumed through drinking, it also has to be used for boiling pasta. Fuel is pretty straightforward, it evaporates and is put in cars. That's pretty good.
Yep.
Stores, which is food, that is only used once per turn, not once per off stage.
But it's somehow one of the most difficult because the trucks for it can't carry much. So a lot of your guys starved for the first 5 or 6, well, 5 turns.
Yeah, there were some missteps made on my part. It does say in the rulebook that trucks really are the heart and soul of the game because you need to move all of your supplies around the desert, but I thought that's probably just a rumour. So I decided to manage my trucks really badly, and a lot of my men are hungry or dead, depending on which area
You've got
they're
them
in.
yet.
Yeah, you've got a few of them at this point.
But you've sorted out your issues with your food, haven't you?
I've sorted it out now, but it seems a bit late in the game to be doing that. We've got, what, 1 turn left? And with us coming towards the end of it, we're also coming towards the end of a high-stakes wager, because we thought playing the game itself isn't enough. We need to have something on the line. So we decided we're going to play for something really worthwhile. So the winner of this practice run will win a full Kinder Bueno.
And the winner of the full game will get a meal, so that'll feel worth it at the end.
A hot meal at the end of a 58-year journey. And it's a sit-down meal, so it's nice. Like 2 courses.
I'm gonna demand 3.
That's, you have to win that.
Yeah, I'm
Everybody.
a starter and a dessert.
No, well, I'm going to win, so you don't need to worry about that. You rest your head easy. Know that I'm going to pick a bottle of Huel is what I'm going to have for my meal.
It's not a meal.
Yeah,
You know.
it is. It's a meal replacement drink. That's what it says. So I'm looking forward to winning. That'll be good. But the management of that you've seen there, that's the ground units. There's also the aircraft, and that's managed slightly differently. Because with that, it doesn't abstract anything. With
It's every plane and each individual pilot.
yeah, so you have to, each row here, that's a plane. So BO2, that's a plane and a man in the plane. So we have, well, I have, that's the next slide. That's us forward the name. I don't know how to go back. This isn't a spreadsheet. I don't know what it's doing.
Little thing down there.
I can't get to it. No. The aircraft stuff is really long as well. There's a lot of aircraft to keep track of. I've got like 400 or so. And every time they encounter each other, so say I'm flying some bombers over Mercer Vitru to try and take out some of your guys, and you run into some of my planes, you have to resolve the dogfights individually, one-on-one. So that can take some time.
Yeah, especially when we're fairly early, we've had like 30 planes on our side for some things, and later on
That
we
could
get a
happen.
lot of planes later in the game.
That could be hundreds at a time.
Yeah.
So that's a full evening just rolling dice to determine what happens on that side of things. And if you're all avid board gamers, which you might be if you're here, you'll probably be familiar with different dice systems, you know, D20 percentiles. But this game didn't decide to do that. Instead, it's managed with a pair of 6-sided dice.
Any big fans of the D36 system in the house? No, because no one else has ever used it.
It's a silly system.
Yeah.
So you roll up a big 6-sided die and a small 6-sided die, and then the big one is the tens and the small one is the units.
Yeah, and it's created sort of a mental problem for me, where I think 31 is one more than 26.
Yeah, because there's no 7s, 8s, or 9s.
Yeah, percentiles. What are we doing here?
Yeah, it could have been so much easier, but no, Richard Berg didn't want that. This isn't his fault. This is our fault. So that's the aircraft, that's the land. The logistics we've sort of covered.
Yeah, logistics is, well, basically everything. You get a truck convoy stage at the end of every up stage.
Yeah.
Gotta get stuff to you guys. It's pretty simple, but
Don't say it's pretty simple. You know my men have died. Starved to death so
it's
frequently.
pretty simple for some of us.
Yeah, well, you
I have it much easier as the Commonwealth.
yeah, you just have to get them in a line from Alexandria and Cairo along a straight road. I've got to get them from somewhere that's not even on the map. The map's 10 feet long, and they've decided to give me stuff that's not included on the game map. It's ridiculous. So
yeah,
overindulgent.
your stuff arrives in Tripoli, which would be 2 more maps over.
Yeah, why don't we just put 2 more maps in?
Just,
I'd be fine with that.
you wanted it to be simple.
I don't think we'll be playing the same game now. So I think that covers the broad strokes of the campaign for North Africa in the way that we've approached it. Does anyone have any burning questions about it, first of all? If you've heard of the game, is there anything you want to know when it comes to the gameplay, or I guess our psyche? Yes, at the back.
What did you do with all the prisoners?
Yes, this is a part of the game as well. Every time you have combat, if you do a certain amount of damage to your enemy, you then take a certain amount of them as prisoners. They need to be managed, moved every turn, fed, and eventually moved off map. We've not done great with the prisoners. I think full game they all receive the attention they should.
Food.
Yes.
The thing is, prisoners they're a real hassle because you've got to feed them and water them, and the game is really explicit that you can't commit war crimes.
Yeah,
directly.
It'll automatically take stuff from things around it. You can't just send them off.
Only if you update the spreadsheet, though. There is a way to start them. I read between the lines. So you've got to feed them, you've got to water them, and it takes it from the nearest supply dump, which is annoying because usually that's the one you're using to feed yourself. So the prisoners take priority for some reason. Geneva Convention. They got really specific with this game, didn't they? So yeah, you can't just sort of leave them on their own. So what we're doing with the prisoners at the moment is feeding them, unfortunately, and giving them water. I'd rather not, but we're playing the game by the rules. When we remember the rules, this is quite a few of them. Any? Oh yeah.
Did any prisoners escape?
No prisoners have escaped yet. In order to do that, we have to get guys to the prisoners, and we aren't too fussed about saving anyone.
Yeah, because they have to be retrained, and we've only got 6 turns.
Yeah, and it's just more stuff to sort out. I'd actually rather have less men and less admin. Like if I could have like one big guy, that would be great. He's got one truck, he's got one gun.
And you just have the Iron Giant, basically.
I'd love the Iron Giant. He would be so good in the desert.
So easy to manage.
But I suppose that takes us onto the issue of breakdown, because the Iron Giant would suffer that. And not psychological, actual mechanical breakdown. Because every time you move a mechanized thing, so a truck, a tank, you have to roll on a table to determine whether or not it breaks down. So every time you're moving any vehicle, including the vehicles carrying all of your stuff, it might just break down in the desert, at which point you've got no stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and then it's just left there to pick up. You can also, your tanks break down, they really like to break down, so they're going to...
Italian ones.
Yes, because they're terrible.
Yeah, not very well made.
No. So yes, you might be going to a fight and you're like, I'm going to use these tanks, I'm going to smash them, and then they're all broken down when you arrive. You will find out when they arrive, not before the journey or anything. So could just arrive with no tanks.
Yeah, and I've had that happen with my trucks because I didn't organise them well. I've just put them in little groups of 2 or 3. I thought that would be enough. I'm thinking, trucks are really big. How much food will I need? And it turns out less than 200 men. At a time, anyway. So my trucks are mostly gone. I miss them. Sorry. Bit long in there. Yeah, so we've covered logistics, land, air. That's the broad strokes. Combat. You got combat.
Yeah, combat's one of the better parts of the game, in my opinion.
Feels like a game sometimes.
Yeah, it's great. So yeah, well, ammo dependent. You choose who you're sending into combat. I guess we'll do it in order, actually. Sorry, guys. So you arrive and you do barrage. So you've got artillery. They might barrage each other, pin each other. After that, you need to work out, is terrain affecting things? Probably. And then morale is a big part of this. Huge part. And then you get to actually the fighting. But there's actually decisions in there.
Yeah, you get a bit of autonomy rather than just can I or will I feed my men. It's can I or will I get them killed in a violent circumstance.
And they go through ammo so fast.
Yeah, ammo's expensive.
Yeah.
It's also hard to move around. You can only move 2 points of ammo for a medium-sized truck.
Yeah, which is one guy shooting basically.
Yeah.
Or
So
one tank.
So I've had a lot of guys, specifically the Saharan detachment. They went on a fun mission where they decided to zip all the way along to Cairo. That took about 4 op stages, so a turn and a bit. And I spent all that time driving them up there. And when they arrived, their morale was so low that when we initiated combat, they instantly surrendered. What a waste of time.
It was genuinely concerning seeing them flying up the road towards my capital, and then they just, hey, can we just come in?
I'd like to give up. I feel like it was a real spiritual connection I felt with them. That's where I am. I've got the guns. I don't have the drive. I got to. Yeah. We lost the camels with that. That was a big thing.
Yes, camels play a part in this game, because of course. Apparently you can fly living camels, but not dead camels. It doesn't say what you can do with them when they get there, or how to load them on, but it is mentioned that you can't transport dead camels by plane.
Yeah. No, you can't. Just the dead ones.
Oh, just dead
Yeah,
ones,
you
sorry.
can't transport a living camel on a plane, but you can transport a dead camel. Now, the interesting thing is there's no way to have a dead camel or a living camel. They don't have material rules. There's one unit that has camels, but they're not listed as an individual piece. There's no way for you to have a living or dead camel. So the fact that they've mentioned that, I think, is just to throw me off personally. Personal attack from Richard Berg.
Yeah, because you do, you just assume I've missed something rather than there's just rules in here that for no reason.
So when we then scanned the documents and then made it searchable in PDF format, we thought, this is it. Now we'll find out what happens with the camels. So Control F, 3 mentions, and it's all that paragraph. There is no answer. There's nothing to determine when a camel dies, which is a beautiful philosophical point, really. So they surrendered. The camels gave up. They arrived at Alexandria and they couldn't take it anymore. They didn't know what they were doing. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what happened to them.
No, what should we talk about a bit what the game state we've actually got to is?
Despair.
Which is bad for me because he's hit a win condition and I haven't, but he feels much worse.
It wasn't fun. You know what it cost me?
A lot.
Hundreds of hours of my life. Yeah, we've got to the point where we've nearly wrapped it up, the practice run, but then we have to start the whole thing all over again. We've got to replay these first 6 turns because the ones we're doing are the first 6. So we'll be retreading this over the next 18 or so months. We'll have to do the exact same thing again.
We've learned so much from the first time, this will be so different.
Name 2 things you've learned.
Trucks.
I'm not giving you that.
I said trucks plural, can I have that for both of them?
Whoa, that's cool, yeah. You can have it for 1.
Okay.
Name another thing you've learned.
Water, not that scary. Don't need it in the desert, it'll show up. What you need is ammo and food.
If you go to the desert in real life, you're going to die. Don't take that advice and don't spread it. It's misinformation. Okay, fair enough. We have come away with some lessons. We know how to set the game out. We know it's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
And we're fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah? We'll talk after this.
Yeah.
Welcome to the last ever show of War with the Mate. The podcast itself, though, we've decided to put some other aspects into it to make it more bearable.
Yeah, the podcast is the fun part of this.
Yeah, because we get to stop playing the game and do something else. Because at first we get a bit of feedback, because now we've done 70 or so, 70 odd, 80 episodes at this point.
Yeah.
We've done quite a few, and it's been good fun. We've had guests on, we've explored the game and what it means to play the game, unfortunately. But for the first 13 or so episodes, we get a lot of feedback that it wasn't very good.
Or focused on the game in any way.
Because I guess it wasn't really focused on the game.
No. The catchphrase for the first 13 episodes is basically, we've started the game now, and it's always a lie.
Because we thought we'd started the game, we've got it out of the box, or we've set it out on the floor for the first time, or we've read some of the rules, but it's never actually playing the game.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, now we've done the spreadsheets and we're filling them up.
And we got a bit sidetracked from time to time.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about Huel.
It's a recurring thing in our show. You've been talking to them on Instagram.
I reached out in case they wanted a sponsor. I don't think they do. I could have been the next Idris Elba. He's a self-described hooligan.
That makes me like him less.
That's what they call themselves, the Huel people. And I think it's a great term. So, would you look at that? I'm going off topic. So we did that. You, at one point, I think made a thinly veiled threat towards Michael McIntyre.
I don't know how thin it was. I've been too scared to go back and listen to that episode. That was the New Year's Eve episode.
We got a bit married.
It was not coherent.
It was, yeah, the first 13 or so episodes, we kind of let it run away a bit. So we decided to structure it a bit more. We now have the gameplay recap, which works well.
Yeah.
We then have a listener mailbag. We get people who are generous enough to send in some emails, ask questions about the game, adjacent to the game, or completely unrelated to the game. Some listeners of which are here today. We've travelled all the way from nearby, I believe. And we have a history segment, which you took the reins on.
Yeah, that's been good. I've enjoyed doing it. I didn't know anything really before we started, other than like what you get told in high school. So that's been fun learning about. Well, we've not really got to the war yet. We've been doing World War I, and then I got a bit sidetracked by the Ottomans, but we'll get there. We've got 30 years. So.
I think it's very in theme with the rest of the game. It takes a bit of time. You lay the groundwork and the foundation.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot.
Good.
We started in, 1890s for one of the segments fairly recently.
Yeah.
And we flip-flop back. But it's given some context, because I knew nothing about the North African campaign, be it the board game or the actual campaign, before we started playing. But you've taken the reins of doing this history segment. You'll have a topic that'll span 3 or 4 weeks. And by the end of it, I've actually learned something worthwhile that I can not apply in real life, but regurgitate at a pub sometimes.
Yes, the podcast will equip you for pub arguments with people who don't know much about history.
Or fuel. If that comes up, you're in a bad conversation anyway. And we also have another segment, which we'll probably get to in a little while.
Yeah, we'll do
Yeah,
one of them.
which is Common Ground, which is a segment we put together to funnel the tangents into the end of the episode, or try to. So the concept is we'll choose a topic and we'll debate that, and we need to find a common ground on it. And it's usually something stupid.
Usually, I'd say always. There's some good stuff in there.
I don't know that there is. One of yours that I particularly disliked was when your common ground suggestion was that you should have more than one kettle in your house. Isn't that groundbreaking?
Look, they're not all going to be winners.
The issue is with that segment, I need to agree in the end. You need to talk me round. So
You've got to meet me halfway when I do.
I guess I do technically, yeah. So we thought we'd go for a common ground today as well.
Yes.
And I believe you're taking the reins with this common ground.
Yes. Hopefully this is better than the kettle one.
And you said it was themed as well. You said you'd make it expo themed, you'd make it appropriate.
Yeah. So, here's some common ground. This might be an ice cold take for a board game expo, but here we go. Monopoly is overrated and it's damaging to board games. It's never the most fun game you can play in any situation. We should be getting rid of it.
Show of hands who agrees with this.
There we go.
Well, that's bad. Hard disagree.
Hard disagree.
Hard disagree.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put a situation out here for you then.
Okay.
Go back in time, 18 months.
Done.
Okay. Now you've got a choice.
There is one situation where it's the better board game to play.
So we're gonna have to find the bit of a middle ground
Yeah,
here.
common ground here.
So it's not every time, is it?
No.
Albeit the podcast would be shorter.
Yeah, okay. Maybe there's one time it's good to play Monopoly. The rest of the time, no, though. Can we agree on that?
Well, you've got Monopoly or Norton Crosses.
Just don't play a board game. Sometimes
No, that's not what you said. No, you said a better board game to play.
Then by the same merit as why Monopoly is better than the campaign for North Africa, Norton Crosses is better than Monopoly. You're done fast.
Ooh. Oh, I don't like it when you're right. No, that does check out. That does check out. No, I might just agree with this.
This is going to be a bit long.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? That's unfortunate. Yeah, I think that is actually just a common ground there. I think you've got me on that one. I think I just agree.
So, Monopoly bad, if you see it out and about, get rid of it. Remove it from your family's cupboards.
Oh, hang on a minute.
Okay, we're back in.
Don't get rid of it.
Yeah,
Why? Why get rid of it?
because you play board games with people who don't like board games, and they're always like, we'll bust out Monopoly.
Yeah.
You don't finish, no one has fun, and then those people think they don't like board games. Let's just get rid of it.
Yeah, but otherwise they're not going to try board games. You're trying to gatekeep board games from the rest of your family.
Swap Monopoly out for Carcassonne. There, you sort of.
Okay. No, that's fair.
Cool.
That's fair. Carcassonne is the better game.
Okay.
I'll take that. Happily, I'll take that. Some common ground. Thank you. But I think that more or less sums up in a nutshell what we've got going on. Unless you can think of anything else that we've missed in this torment.
Oh, we've definitely missed a lot. I guess if this has triggered any questions, we'll can answer them. But yeah.
And anyone who does have further questions as well as that, we do have about 80 hours of us talking about it, complaining about it. All of the vein is available on anywhere that podcasts are.
Almost half of it is good.
That's generous. So yeah.
Did you have any experience with GMT games, or did you just go head first into?
I think we played Carcassonne, we played a lot of D&D, and then we decided to pick this up. I think, it might be why we actually jumped into it. It's because we had no idea how out of our depth we'd be.
Yeah.
I think if we'd done a few other Hex Encounter games first, we would have known how big this would have been.
Well, we started playing Risk once. And I think halfway through, you got tired and went to bed. We still lived together at the time.
Yeah.
So we never finished a game of Risk. We played D&D for about 10 years though, and we played every week for about 10 hours. So we thought, that'll translate to this. The difference is, D&D is a lot of theatre of the mind and creativity. The campaign for North Africa isn't. It's quite rigid actually. It's based on real events and there's a lot of spreadsheets. And that doesn't really happen in D&D. Leaving things in places is considered construction.
It's on the construction table.
Why did the police give me a £90 fine for my construction? Yeah, there's a lot that we haven't learned yet. And when we do think we've learned it, we are wrong. So that's really worrying. And there's a lot of rules to read back through. So we're trying to get better for that, because when it comes to the full game, we don't really want to make a mistake and then have to try and retread our steps. The bookkeeping means we could in theory, but wow, what a nightmare. What a psychological weight that would be.
Yeah, if we have to go back 5 turns in the main game because we've got something fundamentally wrong, 18 months. So
I lose time in real life.
Yeah.
I go even more grey. Yes, at the front.
Do you know how many hours you've played roughly?
Well, we've done 77 episodes. First 13 were nonsense. So 60. What's that? About 390 hours, maybe.
yeah, we do sort of 4 or 5 hours after work, and then there's been a couple of times where for some reason we were like, we've got a Saturday free, let's go all day.
Oh, look, a bank holiday, let's wait. That's always a fun one. Could be doing something nice and worthwhile. So we spent a while playing. Too long. Yes?
Out of all the maps, we hear a lot about Fort Magdalena, Mercer Matruh, Sidi Barrani again and again. How close together are they? Are they all over the maps or just?
No, they're all in a quite tight area in map C, which is the middle one. So we've had a few excursions onto each other's sort of D and E on my maps, maybe A and B or yours. We've had a few excursions, but 90% of everything that's happened has been on map C, and the fronts haven't moved particularly far. Maybe 10 to 15 hexes across the thing.
Yeah, Fort Magdalena is pretty much slap bang in the middle of the whole game. in Map C, right in the middle, and the fight has been, for the most part, around there. You keep on going in and killing all of my engineers. You need engineers to fly the planes as well, by the way. You need to refit them with fuel and weapons every time you want to fly them. So that's not great. But yeah, the fighting happens for the most part all around Map C. Have we had any fights on a different map?
Well, there's a horror attachment surrounded.
That wasn't a fight.
So no.
That's a shame.
And I've gone and killed some engineers on other maps, but again, not really a fight.
That's not a fight. That's murder.
Yeah.
That is a war crime. You can't do that. Yeah, so that's pretty much all happened on Map C. The other maps we've just sort of left to their own devices.
You just sort of move supplies through them at the minute.
But you do. I just let them start. Yes?
We're going to have to leave in a minute to catch a train, but first, how does it feel realising that you're about to be like the foremost experts in this game?
Experts are very... it's an interesting word, isn't it? Because that's all down to perception. We'll be the people who played the game the most, and I'd like to think that we know a fair bit about it.
Yeah, it is an interesting thing. It's one of the only things I'm doing in my life where I can't just go to Google and be like, what do I do in it? Like, it is like, oh, we need to work out or come up with the rules interpretations, which is, I guess, quite a rare thing where like,
Yeah, I can't think of anything else that I could come across in day-to-day life where I can't just get the answers.
First, yeah.
I have to work for it.
Yeah.
I have to figure this out.
But yeah, the thought of us being experts is scary.
Yeah, we didn't think anybody would even listen to the podcast, let alone come here to a live show. So thank you everyone for coming as well. Really appreciate that. But yeah, the fact that we'll have some knowledge to impart. Maybe we'll make our own addenda, because this isn't all correct as well, by the way. There's more mistakes in here. I've found quite a few.
And then maybe someone down the line can do an addenda for ours.
Yeah, we'll just keep the cycle going.
Yeah.
We'll make some intentional mistakes just to stay in theme. On brand. But if you need your train battle, by all means, at any point. Yes.
Has anyone threatened to start playing themselves since you started doing the podcast?
We've had a few people who have been like playing by themselves either before or after. But I think we've had a couple of people buy it. But yeah, I don't think we've had anyone who's like, I'm getting a group together for it.
Well, we had one guy who was an avid listener, was getting in touch quite a bit, and would give us little updates about places he'd been, wearing some of our merch, which was really nice. And then he told us he was buying the game, put up a post of him with the game on Instagram, and then we never heard from him again. So I have no idea what's happened to that. We've had some people pick up other games of a similar vibes, of hex and counter games, but the thing is they don't. You mentioned threatening to play it. They for some reason think this is a good idea, so it's inspired people to waste their time. But the other games will probably be fun though.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people being like, I've got into board games and I'm enjoying it, so that's good.
Don't tell me that. Rub it in, why don't you? Yes, I'll be back.
Would you object to us doing a rival podcast with my wife, or would they call it War with the Mates as well?
No, you can do that. If anything, you can take over this one if you want. There's a vacancy as of now. There you go, Andy. I'm out.
Welcome to the pod.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a tremendous waste of your time. You're more than welcome to. Yes, right at the back.
Are you guys going to do a time lapse of any levels?
We intend to, yeah. We're taking pictures of it now. We're updating it less frequently than we'd like to, but we have an Instagram page and a website that should have updates. When it comes to the full game, I'm going to try and do it more so.
Yeah, one, taking pictures as things happen, and in theory, when we've got the bookkeeping good enough, at some point down the line, we could create something that uses that to generate a time lapse. So if our bookkeeping's in order, we will make one, and then also week-to-week updates. Yes.
Would you add sound effects to it?
Yes, Dan.
I
I asked Perrin if he had any questions for you, and he had two. What's the fruit zone of this week?
Yeah, we forgot a segment. We, a few weeks ago, in one of our tangents, talked about the fact we're going to introduce a segment where we rank every fruit. We're struggling for ideas, clearly. And then we had a listener email in a little jingle that he made to introduce the fruit zone. So we've introduced a segment that lasts about 10 seconds every episode.
About half of that's theme song.
And we pose a fruit. So I guess I'll quickly fruit zone you then, Andy.
Okay.
We'll go with coconut or banana.
Banana.
Okay.
You?
Yeah. Okay. Same.
Like you've experienced the fruit zone.
I'm sure you're very happy. The second one is, next year, are you going to bring this to UK Games Expo and just do a massive live showing? You play?
Well, we'd like to. We did when we booked this in, asked what we could do in terms of playing the board game, and they said we can't just do an exhibition of us playing the game, which I guess makes sense. That wouldn't be fun for anyone, including us. So we'd love to bring it along. At the minute, it's in picture frames, so it's kind of hard to transport. But maybe if we buy a second copy, we can bring that one along. So we'd like to showcase it live somehow. I'm not sure how that would work, but
Probably like a room people can come in and out of while we update spreadsheets. But
yeah, an office.
I think this might be only for me and one other person in the room, but you seem to have a missing chair. Is that because the celebrity on Andy's couch couldn't make it again?
It is, yes. There is a mystery celebrity who sleeps on Andy's sofa every episode, whose identity it's not that we can't reveal it, it's more that they don't deserve it.
yeah, attention-seeking behaviour.
Yeah, I'm sick of them.
Yeah.
All his films, I won't say which ones, but that recent one.
But the chair is there for him if he would show up.
Yeah, spiritually he's here. Physically he's not. Any last, probably got time for a couple more? Yes?
Do you think when you go to the actual game, do you think with the benefit of hindsight, you'll be able to get through the first 6 terms in less than 18 months?
Yes. What we were looking at the other day, what was turn 1? Like we started playing at 13 and finished turn 1 at about mid-30s or something?
Yeah, someone gave us a horrible statistic. They emailed in, they were like, hi, love the show. Did you know that you only just surpassed the point where you spent more time not getting up to turn 1 than you have getting up to turn 1? So that sort of ruined my week. So we should be faster. We should be. But the issue is, this is a practice run. We can kind of mess around and sandbox the rules a bit. But when it comes to the full game, we don't really have that benefit. So I'm going to be really careful. So that will take longer.
Yeah. We are setting up the spreadsheet so it'll automate some of the sort of like the evaporations the same every time, that kind of thing. So that should speed up some of the like bookkeeping, hopefully.
Hopefully. One more? Any got time for one more? Or is that it? Oh, yep, at the back corner. Anything about camels in the corrections? Unfortunately not. We checked those as well. We thought maybe there'd be some answers in there, but there's not. There's absolutely nothing. The camels.
Just one of the great mysteries.
Well, it's the 8th wonder of the world. What do you do with the camels? How did they die? Well, I will be thinking about that one for a while. Thank you everyone for coming along. We're on, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, all the usual places. We've got an Instagram, War with a Mate. If you want to email in, info@warwithamate.co.uk, and the website is warwithamate.co.uk. And thank you again for spending some of the time that you have here at the Expo on a lovely day. Maybe you just came for the aircon. But either way, it's very much appreciated, so thank you.